Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you were just background noise? You're there, physically, but your presence has the weight of a ghost. People look past you, they talk over you, they ask for your opinion, and then check their phones before you've even finished the first sentence? It's frustrating, isn't it? That quiet, simmering anger that builds up when you realize you're being treated like an option rather than a priority. You think to yourself, if I just do more, if I'm kinder, if I'm more helpful, they'll finally see my worth. But here's the cold, hard truth. Respect is not a reward for good behavior. In fact, the more you beg for it, the more you perform, please, and polish your image, the faster it runs away from you. Because respect isn't something you get from others. It's a shadow. It only follows you when you are walking toward your own light. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Ultimately, one experiences only oneself." What he meant was that the world isn't reacting to who you pretend to be. It is reacting to the energy you project from deep inside. If you feel small, the world will treat you like a footstool. If you feel like a victim, the world will provide you with plenty of oppressors. Today, we're going to stop the begging. We're going to dive into the minds of Jung, Nietzsche, and the Stoics to understand the silent command, the art of gaining respect by becoming someone who can no longer be ignored. Most of us were raised on a lie. We were told that if we were nice, people would love us. If we were agreeable, people would respect us. So, you became the person who never complains. You became the reliable one who picks up the slack. But there's a difference between being good and being harmless. Carl Jung famously spoke about the persona, the mask we wear to fit into society. Many people spend their entire lives trapped behind a mask of niceness. But this mask is transparent. People can smell the desperation underneath it. They can sense that your kindness isn't a choice. It's a defense mechanism because you're afraid of conflict. When you are nice because you are afraid to be firm, that isn't virtue. That's cowardice. And the world never respects a coward. Jung pointed out that a person who cannot be dangerous cannot truly be virtuous. To be respected, you must have teeth, but choose not to bite. If you have no teeth, you're not being peaceful. You're just a prey animal waiting to be consumed. The moment you stop trying to be liked and start being real, the atmosphere around you changes. Why do people ignore you? Why do they feel they can walk all over you? It's because of what Jung called projective identification. Basically, people are constantly testing your boundaries without even knowing it. They throw a little disrespect your way, a late reply, a subtle jab, a forgotten invitation, and they wait to see how you react. If you swallow the insult with a smile, you are unconsciously training them to disrespect you. You are sending a signal that says, "My time isn't valuable. My feelings don't matter. You can do this again." Nietzsche warned us about this when he said, "He who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man." When you allow yourself to be treated like an object, you lose your humanity in the eyes of others. You become a tool, and tools don't get respect. They get used until they break, and then they get replaced. The secret to gaining respect without begging is to stop looking at the other person and start looking at the mirror. The disrespect you see out there is usually a delayed echo of the disrespect you showed yourself in here an hour ago, a week ago, or 10 years ago. If you want to change how people treat you, you have to start with the most dangerous word in the English language, no. For a chronic pleaser, saying no feels like a heart attack. Your palms sweat, your heart races. You feel like a bad person. But Nietzsche celebrated the noble soul who has the courage to say no to what is beneath them. Respect is built on the boundaries of what you will not tolerate. Think about the people you respect the most. Do they say yes to everything? Do they apologize for existing? No, they have a line in the sand. When you have a line, people finally have something to stand on. When you have no boundaries, you are like quicksand. People just sink into you and eventually want to get away because you offer no firm ground. Saying no is the first step toward individuation. The Jungian process of becoming a whole, unique individual. When you say no to a boring party, an unfair request, or a toxic comment, you are actually saying yes to your own soul. You are reclaiming the pieces of yourself you gave away just to feel accepted. The irony? People will complain when you first start setting boundaries. They'll call you difficult or changed. But secretly, they will start to watch their step around you. They will start to value your yes because they finally know it has a cost. One of the biggest reasons people get disrespected is that they are too light. They are all sunshine and no storm. Jung taught us that every human has a shadow, a dark side filled with aggression, ego, and power. Most invisible people have repressed their shadow so deeply that they've become spiritually thin. They lack weight. To gain respect, you must integrate your shadow. This doesn't mean becoming a jerk or a bully. It means acknowledging that you could be a jerk if you wanted to. It's the difference between a soldier who keeps his sword sheathed and a peasant who has no sword at all. When you integrate your shadow, your voice gets a little deeper. Your eye contact stays a second longer. You stop fidgeting. You develop what the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius described as a tranquil mind. Aurelius wrote, "Be like the promontory, against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." When you are firm in your own identity, you don't need to bark or shout to get respect. You don't need to post alpha quotes on Instagram or brag about your achievements. You simply exist with such certainty that others naturally adjust their behavior to match your gravity. This is the silent command. It is the authority of a person who has faced their own darkness and is no longer afraid of anyone else's. Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is often the least respected? They're constantly talking about their money, their girls, their connections, or their knowledge. Nietzsche called this the vanity of the weak. When you try to prove your worth, you are essentially admitting that you don't believe you have any. If you have to tell someone you're important, you aren't. Respect is like oxygen. The more you gasp for it, the more it feels like it's running out. The most respected people are often the most silent. They have nothing to prove because they aren't looking for validation from the herd. They follow their own internal law. Stoicism teaches us that we should only care about what is within our control. Other people's opinions are indifference. They don't change the quality of your soul. When you truly stop caring whether people respect you or not, a strange paradox happens. They start respecting you. Why? Because you are no longer purchasable. You can't be bought with a compliment, and you can't be broken with a critique. You become an individual, and in a world full of copies and people-pleasers, an individual is the most valuable thing there is. The 5 pillars of internal respect. To move from invisible to invaluable, you need a practical strategy. You can't just think your way into respect. You have to act your way into it. The law of absence. Stop being so available. If you respond to every text in 3 seconds and show up to every event you're invited to, you are cheap. Value is determined by scarcity. Let people miss you. Let them wonder where you are. The death of the apology. Stop saying sorry for things that aren't your fault. Sorry I'm late. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, can I ask a question? This is submissive language. Replace it with thank you for waiting or I have a question. The vertical posture. This isn't just about standing straight. It's a psychological stance. Look people in the eye, not because you're challenging them, but because you aren't afraid of them. The sovereignty of time. Your time is your life. If someone wastes it, they are stealing your life. Treat your schedule like a sacred temple. If you don't value your time, why should anyone else? The radical truth. Speak the truth, even when your voice shakes. People respect a person who says an uncomfortable truth more than a person who tells a nice lie. The journey to respect is not a journey toward others. It is a journey back to yourself. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you become who you truly are, shadow and light, no and yes, strength and vulnerability, the world has no choice but to acknowledge you. You stop being a tool and start being a force. Stop asking, why don't they respect me? and start asking, why don't I respect myself enough to leave this situation? The moment you are willing to walk away from anyone and anything that diminishes your soul, you have won. You have gained the ultimate respect, the only kind that matters. And once you have your own respect, you'll find that the rest of the world has been waiting in line to give you theirs all along. Are you ready to stop begging and start commanding? The choice, as always, is yours.